So, from not even a homeopathic perspective, but a holistic medicine perspective at large, I mean, you talk about Ayurvedic medicine, Unani medicine, homeopathic medicine, Chinese medicine, New German medicine, there's something called New German medicine. Any non-reductionistic, scientific, materialistic medicine is going to have a very similar approach to the way that they understand psychological imbalances, psychological pathology, psychopathology. Now, in Western medicine, like you mentioned, there's this idea of basically chemical imbalance. This is why we have pathology, because of a chemical imbalance, that you have too much of serotonin, of too much of this or too much of that. And that's why you're depressed. And if only we could just upregulate certain receptors or block certain chemicals from being broken down so quickly, or whatever, if we can maintain somehow more hormones or less hormones, then we can find that perfect balance, and the person's psyche will just magically kind of Now, from a holistic perspective, no one thinks like that. No one accepts that. And it's not even what we find to be practiced and applied and found successful in Western clinical practice, right? Because anytime you suppress the symptom, you actually do more disservice in the long run than if you just left it at all or treated it homeopathically or holistically otherwise. Now, is there an advantage to treating depression for a short period of time if things are very acute with a pharmaceutical, with an antidepressant? Yes. Yes, there is a reasonable time where you can do that, but it won't heal. It's a holding pattern. Pharmaceutical medicine is like a holding pattern. So it'll just lock you into a specific state. You won't get better, you won't get worse. You kind of just stay where you are. And it's good for stabilizing people. But you will never find anybody who is cured by pharmaceutical medicine, especially in the psychotropic world, in psychiatry, because you're never addressing the underlying issues. Now, in homeopathy, we understand that the whole is participating in the state of the organism. And so if I can bring balance to the whole, then I can bring more balance to the psyche. And so exploring what are the root causes of depression, is there burnout? Is there heartbreak? Is there toxicity? Is there malnutrition? What is it exactly? And how do we now administer a remedy and match a remedy according to the law of similars that can match the state of the person that needs that remedy and is expressing a state that is similar to it. That's how we know how to give remedies according to the law of similars, that the remedy invokes a certain presentation when given to a healthy person. And so when that person is ill and presenting with those same features and characteristics, when the remedy is given to them, it all goes away. It shifts the whole pattern. It shifts the pattern. So there's a type of alchemy almost. Like when the remedy and the state of pathology are brought together and there's a similar, it's the similimum, we call it, similimum. There's a similarness between the two. It becomes something totally different. It becomes something totally different. So the khulasa, long story short, we don't think about chemical imbalance. That's a very different way. Even herbs don't think like that. Herbalists don't think like that. Modern Western herbalism can become like that. So some herbs have some sort of SSRI process, or function or pathway. And so it's used like that. So instead of taking the Prozac, you can take this herb, St. John's wort or something. But that's not the application of St. John's wort. That's not really the hikmah of the old herbalist. The old herbalists were looking at the totality. They weren't just focusing on the specific hormone that was maybe or maybe not high or low. Yeah. So we don't reduce. And that's what I'll say to that for now.